This is what it's like to actually be schooled by Squid School. I recently had a 2-hour coaching session with Jem of Squid School. He's one of the biggest creators in the Splatoon community, so in today's video, I'll be covering how I got the coaching session, how did it go, what did I learn, and whether or not I would recommend it to you. This is LED of LED Games. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. In case you're not familiar, I am the captain of a competitive Splatoon team called Clam Crashers. We're a group of friends who are new to competitive and we're looking to improve and have fun. We're currently practicing once a week, and I thought it would be beneficial for us to get a coach. Practice within our team and other teams via scrims is great, but I thought having a top or high level player familiar with competitive play specifically was something worth exploring. In fact, I plan to do future videos with even more coaches very soon. If there's anyone that you'd like to see in particular, let me know. Other than simply wanting to improve my team, I'm deeply interested in this series on different Splatoon coaches to help demystify this particular process. I remember when I first entered into the Splatoon community, I was watching one of Jem's VOD review streams and I asked myself, how cool would it be if Jem ever saw my POV? How would I even do that? I knew he had a Patreon at the time, so I figured it was something maybe tied to that. I had also heard in certain community circles that there were like month-long waits to even get a review from him, which isn't true, by the way. So from my early perspective entering into the scene, it seemed like getting one of these one-on-ones was difficult or inaccessible. So I'm hoping with this series, I'll be able to show just how accessible coaching sessions like these are, and I hope that after watching this video, you'll be able to see if it's something that is right for you. So, how did I get the coaching session? I booked my coaching session through METAFY. METAFY is an online coaching platform where you can book sessions with top-level players and experts in all kinds of games. Currently, this is the list of Splatoon experts. I intend to book a session with every Splatoon coach and do a video on each of them if videos like this do well. I hope that even more Splatoon coaches are added very soon, as I would love to see the pool of experts grow even more. There are so many amazing players with different strategies and weapon expertise, so I genuinely hope that it just continues to grow. I asked my team who we'd like to book with first, given our schedules and the schedules of the coaches, and we decided to go with Jem. There were a lot of options for time slots, which was great. I then booked our 2-hour live team session, which was very affordable in my opinion, and bam, then we just waited for the day to come. You can book individual or team practice, by the way, so if you don't have a team or if you simply just want to have a more focused session on you and your gameplay, you can always book an individual session. Just depends on what your goals are. Of note, there was a section when booking that asked what is it that we would like to work on. My team and I had already priorly discussed by doing an exercise where we asked one another what it is that we want to personally work on, as well as what it is that we think we need to work on as a team. By the way, this is a great exercise. I definitely recommend that you do this if you're on a team. I then compiled our answers and I dropped a hyperlink to the document when it was prompted on the website. So was this necessary for the coaching session? No, it wasn't. But again, it was helpful for us, and a coach might find it beneficial, so that part is completely up to you on how you'd like to handle it. That's just how we personally chose to handle it. For the session itself, I wasn't really sure what to expect. When I booked it originally, the website said that Jem would reach out to me on Discord, but then about an hour before the session, I got an email from METAFY that provided me the information on how to add him, which I then did. So not a big deal, but I did want to mention it in case you book a session with him specifically and are wondering how that part worked. It was fine, just I would recommend watching your email. So how did this session go and what happened? As I mentioned before, this was my very first coaching session, so I wasn't really sure what to expect going in. There weren't really any directions for how to prepare other than leaving the information about what it is that we hope to improve on, which I did via the Google Doc that I hyperlinked. I had seen Jem's VOD reviews and streams, but I wasn't sure if that was how he preferred to work with teams or not, because most of the streams that I had watched was focused focused on individual gameplay. So unfortunately, we did not have a VOD prepared. If you want to book a session with Jem, I would recommend having a replay code ready. We were kind of in a bit of an awkward situation when we first started where we didn't have a recent replay code with our team because we had actually been practicing a bunch of 2v2s beforehand, so we didn't have any games with our full team in open that we could share with Jem. So instead of doing the VOD review, which again, highly recommend that you have before the session, we ultimately decided upon just playing a game right at the top of the session. He watched my gameplay from my POV, which I streamed for him on Discord. During this game, he listened to the way our team communicated with one another, as well as paying attention to other game mechanics and strategies. Which, by the way, oh my god, we totally came in clutch. We almost got wiped and managed to pull out a comeback win, which glad we didn't get wiped. That would have frankly been embarrassing. So after the game, I shared the replay code with Jem, and he then streamed the replay for us on Discord where we could watch it back together. This is where we spent the majority of our time, and it was so impactful. He immediately started sharing some feedback about what was working and what wasn't working as far as our team communication style goes. We were doing really well at communicating and coordinating specials and boosting team morale, but we would clutter the team communication with things like, oh, I underestimated the blast radius, things like that. That Jem said, you know, it takes up valuable time that we could be otherwise communicating with one another about much more important things. I would say the biggest light bulb moment for us personally was becoming aware of our thought process when it came to positioning. We already knew beforehand that it's not the greatest idea to take fights alone when you can coordinate with your teammates in a 2v1 and you have an advantage. Makes a really big difference. So we've been practicing kind of sticking together. I would often pick somebody on our team based on the given scenario and I'd say, I'm with you, let's push together. Something to that effect. And especially because we had been working really hard to make sure that we coordinated our specials well, we really focused on trying to have some sort of coordination. Here's the thing. While the principle of taking coordinated fights is what we had been aiming for, we had not been executing that. What we were able to learn from Jem is that we often bunched together in a way that was actually disadvantageous to us, and that we should be practicing instead is before we even start playing the game, in practice, we should spend 30 minutes to an hour using the tool on sendu.inc to have plans in place. We needed a plan for the neutral position, the lockout position, and the defensive position, and these are just initial plans. The more you play, the more you'll change your tactics and have other plans in place, but I don't think I have the words to express how much this changed our gameplay. So using this tool, we would basically map out where it is that each weapon, i.e. each player, would go on the map given the map and mode. And like I said, we would then make adjustments if needed, but this was so helpful. During our next practice following the coaching session, we did exactly this, where we mapped out our plans for the specific map and mode. We spent probably 40 minutes discussing, and man, did it make a difference. I had never played Splatoon in that way, and it felt good. It felt so good. I was thinking about the game completely differently. It was like a light had switched on for all of us. Did we win every game? No, because there's plenty of other things to learn. But this will genuinely forever change how I approach playing with a team dynamic. We were able to take better 2v1s and focus on our jobs during that given match. It felt really good. The entire VOD of our session will be up on my second channel, but man, it felt so good. After the VOD review, we then played 4 games with Jem where he would essentially take the role of me or one of my teammates. For example, I've been playing Vanilla Wiper, so Jem played Vanilla Wiper with my team while I watched, and he did that for everybody. This was both fun and helpful because it allowed us to put into practice some of the things that we had just covered during our 2 hours. So what did we learn? A lot. I personally learned so much about communication and the way that I think about positioning within a team setting. It's just completely changed. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. So would I recommend this to you? Yes. Jem was an excellent coach. I've watched his videos and his VOD reviews and streams, but actually getting one-on-one time was so much more beneficial and impactful than I could have imagined. There were things that in the back of my head I had heard before and thought that I understood, but applying them in-game and recognizing habits is a totally different undertaking. Having an outside set of eyes on us and giving us feedback was immensely useful. Our team had several light bulb moments throughout our coaching session time. I would easily give our coaching session with Jem a 10 out of 10, and I would book again. I'm really looking forward to future coaching sessions with other folks. Make sure you're subscribed here and on my second channel. The full unedited coaching session will be uploaded there later this week. Let me know what it is that you think in the comments down below. What is it that you would like to see in a session? And is there anybody in particular that you would want to be coached by? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!